All right, let's get started with another optimization problem. So displayed here on the screen are the steps to solving optimization problems, and I'm not going to go through them again. I want to just jump right into our first, or our next, actually, we've done a few examples, but our next example, which is this one. It's about taking a box. So let's suppose we have an open box that we're constructing, and it's being made from a 16-inch by 30-inch piece of cardboard. Now, the way we're going to create this box is by cutting out squares out of the corners and then folding up the flaps that remain. And so what size should we actually cut those little squares out of the corners to maximize the volume of the box that we're creating? So this is one that I would suggest is definitely a good candidate for a picture. So let's just think about this. What we're going to have here is a piece of cardboard, flat piece of cardboard. We want to create a box. So from this piece of cardboard, what we want to do is we want to cut out the corners, equal corners, little squares out of the corners, so that we're left with some flaps. So if we could take these little corners out, think about cutting those out, removing that space, and then we'd be left with some flaps that we could then fold up. So first of all, this cardboard box is 30 inches, or this piece of cardboard that we're going to use to make the box is 30 inches wide and a height of 16 inches in this direction based on the way I drew it. And we're going to make these little cuts. And so this length that we're going to cut right here, I'm going to call X. So out of each corner, I am going to cut X. So getting myself started defining some variables here. So X is going to be equal to the side of the square cuts from the corner. From corners. All right, well, this is going to turn into an actual open-topped box. A little long there. Okay, so we're going to get an open-topped box here, and then we could draw in the 3 dimensions, make it 3-dimensional there. Erase some of my scribbles, try to make it as nicely 3 dimensions as I can here, without spending too much time being a perfectionist. Okay, so we're going to turn this in. When we cut that out, what we're going to do is we're going to end up having these little flaps, and those flaps are going to fold up. So here's a flap that's folded up, and here's a flap on the front side that's folded up. So flaps are going to fold up to create this box, and it is open, so we can stick our hand in there. So what are the dimensions? Because what I want is I want to maximize this volume. So the goal here is I want to maximize right? When we're optimizing, we have to figure out what is it we want to do, maximize or minimize. And in this case, we want to maximize the volume and the volume of the box that we're creating. And the volume of a box is going to be length times width times height. Length, width, and height. So that's what we're trying to maximize. But our constraints are coming out of our material. So the constraints are actually coming from, I'm going to write the constraints up here next to the material. The constraints are coming from the fact that we're building this out of a specific type or size of material. So the constraints are coming from the material or the sheet of cardboard. So how does that sheet of cardboard affect the length, the width, and the height of this box that we're going to create? Well, what we should do is we should come in here and we could think about what happens when I actually cut those corners out. When I cut those corners out, the flaps that I'm going to fold up The dashed line I've created right there is the actual base of my box, and these are the flaps that are going to fold up. So that's a flap, that's a flap, that's a flap, and that's a flap. Those are the flaps that are going to fold up to create the sides of my box. Well, what then is the resulting dimensions of the bottom of my box? What are the length and the width of this bottom of this box? Well, if I'm cutting these little squares, I'm going to be taking 2 of those x's away from 30. So this is going to be 30 minus 2x. And the same thing is going to happen on this side. This is going to be, but we only started with 16 inches. So this side is going to be 16 minus 2x. So we're taking our box. When we cut those little corners out, what we're left with is 4 flaps and a base, the base being what's dashed out there in dashed lines, a base that has a length of 30 minus 2x and a width of 16 minus 2x. So that we could put back down on our length then of our box. I'm going to switch to black. Our length of our box is going to be 30 minus 2x. Our width of our box is going to be 16 minus 2x, and the height of the box is going to be 8x. Okay? So that's the length, the width, and the height, all in terms of x, what I'm going to actually cut away from the corners, the squares that I'm going to cut away from the corners. So my volume equation becomes a function of x. It is going to be x times 16 minus 2x times 30 minus 2x. And I can expand that out, which I'm actually going to do. But before I do that, I want to just talk about what the domain of this would have to be. So what is the domain of this function? Because this function, when I get it expanded, is actually going to simply be a polynomial. So if I get this guy expanded, I end up with, let's make that 16x minus 2x squared times 30 minus 2x, and when I get that all the way expanded out, what I end up with is 4x cubed minus 92x squared plus 480x. And I did a little bit of I did a little simplification there on off to the side. So I didn't show all the steps, but did a little bit of simplification and added those up. So this particular function, the reason I wanted to just write that right there, because that is our volume function. That volume function has a domain of all reals. But in the context of this problem, we cannot use a side length of 50 inches. X cannot be 50. X can also not be -3. Okay? X is the actual amount of material we're cutting from the corners of our original piece of cardboard. So the domain, we have to think in context. So for the domain, we actually have to think about the context here. So we have to think about the context. And for the domain, what we end up seeing is if we come back to our picture up here, we have a side length of, well, we have 2 side lengths, one of 30 inches and then one of 16 inches. 16 inches, in order to create a box, our smaller length, our least of the 2 lengths, is going to be the most restrictive. So we're restricted by having only 16 inches. I can't cut more than 8 inches out of a corner because I have to balance it by also cutting 8 inches out of the other side. So if I were to cut something 8 inches or more, I would no longer have a flap to fold up. Okay? So I cannot cut anything. X has to be less than 8. It also, of course, has to be greater than 0. So my domain is from 0 to 8. X has to be less than or equal to 8 inches. And of course, it also has to be, we also wouldn't have a flap if we didn't make any cut. So if we didn't cut anything, then we would also not have it. So we have to be greater than 0. Oh, and I put equals on those, but I meant to just, I did it correctly on the inequality, but I meant to write it that way. Okay, so that is the domain of the function coming out of the context, not out of the actual function that we worked with. But once we have a function, all we have to do here in order to find the actual maximum volume that we can get, we have to figure out what our critical points are. So now that we've done that work, a little bit of geometry there, had to think about shapes and geometry and cutting corners. So what we're going to do now is the calculus. So now we're going to find the max. of v of x, and that is utilizing calculus. So we'll take the derivative, find the critical point, show that the critical points are maxes or mins, and also keep our eye on that domain. Any critical points that fall outside of the domain we're not going to even consider. So when I take the derivative here, it is a polynomial, so 12x squared minus 184x plus 480. Now let's find the critical points. Actually, before we even find the critical points, this is actually going to be part of our process for finding critical points. I see there's a common factor here of 4, so let's go ahead and pull that out. 3x squared minus 46x plus 120. Now let's find the critical points of v prime of x. So find the critical points, figure out when that's going to be equal to 0. So v prime of x equals 0 when 4 times 3x squared minus 46x plus 120 equals 0, and could go to the quadratic formula, but I actually think this guy might factor. Looking at that, and I'm thinking I see that 12 and 10. So this would be negative 12 and negative 10. That'll do the trick for the factoring, because that'll give me that negative 46, because negative 10x and negative 36. So this factors, so 3x minus 10 equals 0, or x minus 12 equals 0. So x is 10/3, or x is 12. So notice here I actually have two critical points. If I just didn't think about this at all, if I just went right into it, I would create, and on my sign chart I would have 10/3 and 12. But remember, up here again, the domain is only from 0 to 8. We can't cut 12 inches from both sides of a 16-inch length. That would mean we were cutting out actually 24 inches, and if you only have 16 inches to cut from, you can't cut 24 inches. So we can't actually even use 12. This is outside the domain. But a good illustration of why I paused for a second and I thought about the domain. That's outside of the domain. The domain is only from 0 to 8. So the domain is only from 0 to 8. We can only make cuts on this piece of cardboard in the range of 0 inches to 8 inches. So now we can test our point. So if we pick something to the left, here was the derivative. Keep it on the screen. Here was the derivative. So if we pick something to the left of 10/3, 10/3, by the way, is 3 1/3. So 10/3 is 3 1/3. So pick something to the left like 1. If I were to plug 1 into this, I would get a positive times a negative, which results in a positive. So this would be increasing. If I plug in something like 4 or 5, if I were to plug 4 or 5 in there, I get a positive times a negative. So that results in a negative, which will be a decreasing interval. If we increase, and we know that 10/3 is a horizontal tangent, if we increase and then decrease, that makes this a max, and we have the proof here that we need. We don't care about what happens at 12 because 12 is outside of our domain. We can't even go beyond 8. So we have shown that we actually have a max at 10/3. So we would maximize the volume that we could create given this piece of cardboard. So now we can just answer the question. So x, we can maximize. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. We can maximize the volume by cutting squares of side length x equals 10/3 inches, or 3 1/3 inches, from the corners. Now, what would that maximum volume be? Well, we could figure that out if we wanted to just plug it back into the function. So what is the volume if we wanted to, what is that max volume? that we could create. We'll plug 10/3 into our volume equation, and I will do that and approximate it. We can get approximately a maximum of 726 inches cubed by creating a box this way out of a piece of cardboard that's 16 by 30 inches. And there's another example. Again, though, nice example where the actual context gives us a restriction that we do have to consider and think about.